The complication of diabetes is gastroparesis. Many diabetics just come with history of belching, not able to digest, and lot of nausea and other complaints. Part of it is due to medicines, but it's also due to diabetic gastroparesis. The emptying time of the stomach becomes much less. So diabetics have a lot of problem with this. Dermatological problems and sexual dysfunction are the other complications. So once we have diagnosed diabetes, so how should we go about it? The first and foremost thing before you prescribe a medicine for diabetes is education of the patient. That is the most important. If you are able to spend 5-10 extra minutes educating a patient about diabetes, then I think his need for medication and other things will be much lower throughout his life. Lifestyle intervention is very important. Diet and exercise, we all know. That is the first thing we should teach the patient about. Diabetic diet, which means more complex carbohydrate and more protein, more and saturated fats and other fats in a controlled amount. Metformin is one drug which should be given to all patients of diabetes, unless it is contraindicated. So I will tell you what are the contraindications for metformin use. But metformin is a kind of a wonder drug. It is the cheap, it is the longest available, and it is still the best. So metformin, most of you are using in PCO cases, and it is the drug for diabetes if you diagnose it for the first time. Unless contraindicated, must be given to all patients. And after lifestyle intervention, metformin, check the HbA1c of the patient. If it is more than 7, then you can add the oral medicine. If lifestyle intervention and metformin are not able to bring the HbA1c below 7. And one principle we must keep in mind while treating diabetes is to preserve the beta cells. There are certain drugs which act directly on the beta cells and deplete them over time. And there are certain drugs which act on the liver, muscle, gut, not directly on the beta cells of the pancreas to bring down the sugar. So if you use the other drugs, the second group of drugs, then you preserve the beta cells. So the insulin requirement in that patient will come at a very later stage. So we must try to preserve the beta cells. I'll tell you more about this. Education, I just told you, it is the cornerstone of diabetes management. We have to change the patient's diet, exercise levels, stress levels, because everything affects the diabetes control. And education is not something which you have to give one kind of a prescription to every patient. For a obese patient, it's different education. For a very lean patient, it's a different kind of education you will need. So you must tell them the amount of physical activity that should be required to maintain or lose weight. And before advising any physical activity, you must have a general evaluation of coronary artery disease. Young patient, you may not be that particular. But in an elderly patient more than 50, 55, you must initially evaluate for risk of coronary artery disease or at least the history of coronary artery disease before prescribing him any kind of exercise. Because exercise sometimes can be done at a very vigorous, this thing can cause problems. So the best possible or the ideal exercise is a brisk 30-minute walk per day. And I've already told you, after lifestyle modification, the drug to give is metformin. Just a few important points about metformin. It's a biguanide class of drug. It's an insulin sensitizer. It doesn't act directly on the pancreas, so it preserves the beta cells. It stimulates glucose uptake by the muscle, and it reduces the hepatic gluconeogenesis. Some patients come to me that even if I don't eat anything, my sugars are high. That is because of the gluconeogenesis. Your liver is constantly producing glucose, just because you don't go, so that you don't go into hypoglycemia. So this metformin reduces that. And it is helpful in reducing both fasting and postprandial blood sugars. It also has beneficial effects on the lipids. So that is why it is called a wonder drug. It has favorable effects on fibrinolysis, should be given to all patients. And it's contraindicated in patients with serum creatinine more than 1.5 in men and more than 1.4 in women. So this is where one place where you should not use this. Another category of drugs we should not use is gastroparesis, severe gastroparesis, because it causes some amount of gastritis and some amount of nausea. It causes weight loss if you do exercise along with taking metformin. But if you don't do exercise, then it is weight neutral. It doesn't increase weight, but it helps in reducing weight if the patient is exercising along with the medication. And it has GI side effects, like I told you. And if given in renal failure, it can cause lactic acidosis. So that is why we should not give in patients with renal failure. The dose is 500 milligram to 2000 milligram per day, depending on the type of control you need.